she got away for 20 years. She could have prepared so much because she's an ex-cop, and this is how she reacts. Fair warning, I want to be very clear for everyone in here. These, because I've watched a few of those, not this one. These sometimes talk about violence. Sometimes there's talk of sexual violence being happening and what happened to the victims here. So this is a very serious trigger warning. If this is something that is in any way triggering or something you don't want to hear about, please, please, please do not subject yourself to this. We are probably going to talk about possibly bad thing happening to a few people in those videos. So I do not want you to be subjected to something that can, if you ever got some trauma in your life and you don't want to be subjected to this again, no hard feelings. This is your warning. I think I will put a trigger warning in the title as well, just to make sure everyone is safe about here. We want to make sure everyone is enjoying their time. This could be a little rougher than usual, so yeah, just gonna put it there. Warning, talks of just gonna put it here so it's very clear for everyone. I do not want everyone to come out of my streams feeling bad, feeling sick, or reliving some trauma they got in their life. That being said, if you enjoy this, we will be doing this again. I heard these were pretty popular, so we will be watching this. I will be stopping the videos at many times just to give back my trigger warning for everyone, because I do not want anyone to feel bad after they watch what we're about to watch today. That being said, please feel free to engage with me, and we will have potentially a blast. I hope so. This is something new I'm trying today. I hope you guys like it. So let's see how this works. I'm just going to play a few seconds to see if we have any issues with the video.
Inviting Stephanie to come in and advise them on a case involving stolen art, knowing they were dealing with one.
So this case is about a former cop. Her name was Stephanie Lazarus, and apparently she might have been involved in a bit of a murder. And this happened because the video chops at the beginning, so I've read a little bit about it. This happens something like 20 years later, 30 years later, when she got away with it, and detective just reopened the case recently, and she is going to be brought in from questioning. So let me put this volume up. Tell me if the volume audios are fine, and let's go and watch this.
A ruse, inviting Stephanie to come in and advise them on a case involving stolen art. Knowing they were dealing with one of their own, they rehearsed and prepared for the interview more than anything they had done before.
So they knew they were... Stephanie was a cop for a long time. I think they're going to say it after that, but she was a cop for a long time. She was a criminal investigator. And so she usually... Technically, you would expect somebody in a position to be knowing of what's coming on, right? Apparently, she was not prepared at all. So
their plan of attack was to keep the conversation as casual as possible for as long as possible, and carefully waited for the key moments to initiate the confrontation.
Stephanie, I don't know if you know my partner. Hey, great. Hi. Sure, nice to meet you. Guys. How's it going?
How's the volumes? Let's just see if the volumes level are good. This seems to be a little bit low. So anyone in chat, if you're back, just tell me if the volume is fine.
No, well, have a seat. I don't want to talk about this in the squad room because I don't know who people are listening. And if we go to my side, everybody's always wondering what everybody else is doing.
So my understanding is that they know she did it. They know she got caught 30 years later. They reopened the case. And yeah, they got DNA evidence, my understanding. And she doesn't know she's screwed. So she's probably going to try to weasel a way out of it. Like we do with traders, right? In Project Winter. That's something we do, try to weasel a way out of it.
Okay.
The first thing the detectives do is set up a compatible tone with the suspect. She has just stepped foot inside an interrogation room, and the detectives negate the negative implications of such an environment through a friendly disposition. Consultative meetings, such as seeking advice over an art theft, can take place anywhere, and the last place detectives would choose to spend more time in would be an interrogation room. The reason they give the suspect for meeting in such an unusual location is to not spread rumors or innuendo. Yet the real reason is that all firearms have to be checked in before entering the area, and they needed
Smart.
the suspect to give up her gun without alerting suspicion.
So they brought her to the station under the pretense, because she was an art investigator, so they brought her to the station under the pretense that there was been an art theft. So that's something she, I guess, an expert of. But they needed to take her gun away. So bring them to the station when the procedure is that you have to take your gun. Smart, smart. They are being good survivors so far.
But like we're talking about being busy and stuff, we've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes to see as far as your name being mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know John Ruetten?
Try and imagine for one moment that you savagely murdered a love rival in a jealous rage. Over
Just gonna make the screen a bit bigger because we're missing a part of it. Just missing a part of it here. There you go. Let's move this up. Just move this up. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jimmy. Jamie, thanks for joining us. We are trying something new today. Usually on this channel we do some Project Winter and social deceptions gaming, but today we're watching these videos. So, I say to you're still holding Tesla. Yeah, okay. I guess if you say so.
Over 2 decades had passed since the act. Then all of a sudden, you're brought to an interrogation room and sat directly opposite 2 senior investigators who bring up the name of the man you committed
Thanks,
first-degree homicide for.
John Ruetten?
Ruetten.
The investigators already knew how to say John Rutten's name correctly. The mispronunciation was a simple strategy to see how the suspect would react. Setting aside the element of the murder, John Ruetten was the second longest relationship in Stephanie's life, and a psychiatrist later stated that this pause was 4 times as long as it should have been. She was already being deceptive by acting as if she hadn't thought about that name for so long, giving reason for her prolonged reflection, when in reality, the name John Ruetten was engraved in her memory, and even when slightly mispronounced, it would have most likely taken milliseconds for her to realize exactly who the detectives were referring to.
Right.
Oh yeah, I went to school with him.
Yeah, I need to fix this. Okay, so that's the way to do it, I guess. Just go back because I think they give us a good idea on how to conduct investigation here. So when you think there's a traitor,
Thought about that name for so long, giving reason for her
Giving
prolonged
some fake
reflection,
information,
when in reality,
see how
the
they
name
react.
John
Something I
Ruetten
like
was
to do.
engraved in her memory, and even when slightly mispronounced, it would have most likely taken milliseconds for her to realize exactly who the detectives were referring to.
Right.
Oh yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started, and, met him at school at the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
She says she met him in the dorms, yet left out the fact that they had dated for 4 years and went on numerous holidays together. Even though she wasn't asked directly, a truthful subject would most often volunteer this information without having to be pressed for it.
Were you guys friends, close friends?
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah?
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's regarding, it's a case
What's
we're
this
working
all
on
about?
that involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed, there's notes and stuff that he knew you and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, we good friends. Lived in the dorms I lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah. Was there ever any relationship or anything that developed between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated.
Uh-huh.
good friends. Oh, now we dated. Now we dated. We were good friends. We were good friends. Oh yeah, we dated. I kind of forgot we dated.
What's this all about?
Well,
What's
it's
this all
related
about?
To his wife.
It's unfortunate that Stephanie's face wasn't captured at this moment, because she would have no doubt been immediately struck by the psychological reaction known as fight or flight. Her brain would have just triggered the influx of a specific cocktail of hormones in order to prepare her to either stay and deal with the threat or try and run away to safety. Stephanie chooses to fight.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know her?
Not really. I mean, I knew that he got married years ago.
Uh-huh. Did you ever meet her?
God, I don't know.
God, I don't know. So her ex husband got married. I don't think she was married. Well, let's learn a little bit more.
Do you know who she was or anything?
Well, let me think. God, it's been a long time ago. I may have met her.
I may have met her.
The words gosh, God, gee are exclamatory remarks used to
Jeez.
express surprise or strong emotion. You will see them used continuously throughout this interrogation, which is the suspect trying to insinuate a vague memory due to a lack of contemplation on the subject matter. She's trying to emit the impression that she would have had no reason to give any further thought to John or anything related to John since they stopped seeing each other over 2 decades ago.
Did you see the parts? God, jeez. Why are you asking me that? I'm so surprised. Why are you asking me?
You know,
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, are you guys, is this something?
As we know, Stephanie is a cop and has been for 25 years. She will
Yeah.
be wise to the fact that acting oblivious to the unusual development of the situation will be a glaring red flag in the eyes of the investigators. It's been shown time and again on this channel. Guilty suspects will often try and act naive to a blatant confrontation as a means to avoiding it altogether, whereas truthful subjects will address the confrontation and either refute it or, if it's subtle, want immediate clarification and transparency as to what was being insinuated.
I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art and how
Well,
you guys are.
Here's
I mean,
Stephanie.
Oh, that face. That face. Can you imagine if we had face cams on Project Winter when you try to interrogate someone and just pops up on the screen, you see their face, you see when they're trying to lie? It's kind of seems obvious that she's a bit distracted now. Project Winter to VR. There you go. Exactly. By the way, Zeke, is the volume mixing pretty good? Imagine. That would be something, right? You just see something. Hey, did you take the parts? Oh God, jeez, no, jeez.
Here's the situation. It's basically we knew that this, when we saw this in this chrono, that maybe there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate.
The detective now subtly avoids the question altogether, but instead offers a deceptively reassuring response to the suspect.
Is it just me or the face she's making is just too obvious? It's just too fake. Look at that. She's gonna bring it back a little. Look at that. Does anyone actually react like that when they're surprised, or this is the face of someone faking being surprised?
When we saw this in this chrono, that maybe there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate.
The detective now subtly avoids the question altogether, but instead offers a deceptively reassuring response to the suspect. He makes a very sharp switch from the investigative subject matter to the
what I
previous
think, Zeke.
topic of workplace rumors. He brings her focus back to the false perception of them being on her side. Stephanie had just asked what was going on, and now he essentially replies with, "We are your friends. We're doing you a favor."
And we didn't.
So she was brought in to discuss a heart thief, and now it's coming down to a crime she might have committed 20 years ago. Exaggerating, over deviling is, yes, exactly, Zeke. Sometimes I just ask this question to someone, and they just throw in some information for free, and they just trying to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you know what? You fucked up. Why are you oversharing like that?
Want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room, or people are in there getting
that's
supplies.
okay. I mean,
So we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality
Okay.
to talk about this, because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth, and that you may not want to, talk about these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff
I mean,
to start.
that's fine. I mean,
So we did this just as a means to try and speak to you in just
Okay, I mean,
a
I
confidential
just-
place where where your business isn't out there for other people in
well, I mean,
your
it's-
division to
yeah,
know
I
about.
mean,
Whether it be shock
Yeah, I
or
mean,
the total
yeah,
reluctance
yeah,
to
I
accept
mean-
the situation at hand, Stephanie warily accepts the reassuring response without further inquiry into her initial challenge. She instead
what she
falls
did.
back into her agenda of having a foggy memory with regard to the incriminating
What
contents.
she
you know,
did.
God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009? I mean, I graduated in 82. 82, yeah.
I mean, some people are overexpressive, and they have huge reactions when you talk to them. But really, you were a cop. You're actually gonna get yourself this is about to be a self-report. I have a feeling we're gonna have a self-report by the end of this.
You know, we dated. I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Well, let me ask you, roughly how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't even say.
Oh, jeez again.
Notice how she now goes on to over-explain things that don't require an explanation and weren't even inquired about. It's a clear-cut indication of hyperarousal and a derivative of TMT, also known as terror management theory. The suspect will go off on unrelated tangents as means for gaining momentary relief. Going into detail about trivial things affords her a brief escape from the terrifying reality eventuating before her. This is a very common occurrence in interrogations where the suspect is facing serious charges, and psychiatrists believe it to be a subconscious coping mechanism.
I started school there
That's
in
what you said,
78. I started UCLA in 1978. I graduated in 82.
Repeating twice.
I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Unrelated.
I think he was a little bit older than I was.
Unrelated.
I mean, you know, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960.
Unrelated.
I don't know if he was
Just
born
want to know how long you
58 or
date John
59.
for.
I mean, I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister, his brother went to Northridge.
You steal parts from the station. Well, you know, I started the game and I went straight for the bunker on the left side. I went through the bunker and then I opened it. I opened it, but there was two guys were there. There was Zeke and there was JK and they were on the bunker. No, did you see the part? Wait, no. Well, when we opened the bunker, Zeke went to kill the deer over there and I opened the first box, but there was nothing in the first box. Yeah, you're totally a traitor. Get out of here.
I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was. I mean, you know, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960. I don't know if he was born in 58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister, his brother went to Northridge. You know, his sister spent the night at my house before. Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. He probably spent the night at my house before. You know, I don't.
You barely remember the guy
Correct
5
me if I'm
minutes
wrong,
ago,
'cause
Stephanie.
From what you're telling me, is you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Jeez.
She did a
I
murder.
think when I met my husband in. When did I meet Scott? Let's see. I was teaching DARE because I met Scott when I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. But we had long stopped, you know, dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92. It was
Scott being your husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was teaching DARE. Let's see, what
What was
year?
DARE? What is
We'll be
DARE?
married. I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had
Don't think I
talked to John prior to that.
But since
What
you
it
met
is,
your husband,
years
Scott, you haven't talked to him?
I mean, he may have called me once or twice before we got married.
Right.
You know.
No, I didn't.
Geez, I moved to Simi
Jeez
in
again.
1994 because I lost my house in the earthquake.
This is an overload of unrequired attention. If we're in a Project Winter game, this woman has been exiled 5 minutes ago. Do you agree? Seek? Vote to kick or keep?
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms. We all lived on the 10th floor, and there's about 3 or 4 people I keep in contact with. There's probably like 6 or 8 of us that were all really close.
And who are those people?
Oh, geez. Diana Basta.
Oh, jeez.
The people I still keep. I haven't been in contact with her in a long time. I mean, what's this all about? I mean.
Well, let me ask you.
This woman had 20 years to prepare for this. So, my understanding is that she killed her ex-boyfriend's fiance. And somehow she got away with it, and they found DNA evidence recently, and this is 20 years later. Can you believe she got away for 20 years? She could have prepared so much, because she's an ex-cop, And this is how she reacts. I'm talking like super sad. Prepare for that if you watch it though. It's good. It's Netflix. How many did they think they were in the clip?
The suspect challenges
sense.
the detectives for the second time,
thought she
and
was in
once
the clear,
again,
so-
the question is avoided, but this time in a more confrontational manner, as the topic is maintained with no reassurance afforded. The detectives are ramping up the pressure in a very subtle, yet highly effective manner.
What ended the relationship between you and John?
You know, I don't. It was kind of a weird relationship. I mean, we dated. I can't say that he was my boyfriend. I don't know that he would consider me his girlfriend. We dated. We did things. I played sports
She said
in
they were
college. He played basketball.
good friends at the beginning.
His brother played basketball. We just, you know, it just didn't work out. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was like I went out with other guys, saw other guys. I went on lots of vacations. You know.
And once you guys split, were you guys still friends, or kind of, you know,
I
problems?
mean,
Is it friendly, not friendly?
No, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that.
As friendly as it could be when you killed your ex's fiance, right? How friendly can it be?
Or kind of, you know,
I mean,
problems? Is it friendly, not friendly?
No, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that we went to Hawaii at one point. Yeah, I mean, you know.
And you were saying that
it's 2009 now.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything?
I may have.
Or what she
Oh,
did
geez.
for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
The suspect was just asked 3 consecutive questions relating to the victim. She was supposedly in a reflective state during all 3 of the questions, yet her facial expression completely changed for the 3rd one. This is because she was pretending to be in a state of reflection for the first 2 questions, as she already knew the answers, whereas for the 3rd question, she actually was in a state of reflection and was genuinely searching her memory.
Wait, I want to hear that back because apparently we have a interrogation technique here. Interrogation technique about the 3 questions. We might want to try to use that into Project Winter, right? The 3 questions.
Yeah,
Let's
where she
remember that.
worked, or anything about her?
The suspect was just asked 3 consecutive questions relating to the victim. She was supposedly in a reflective state during all 3 of the questions, yet her facial expression completely changed for the 3rd one. This is because she was pretending to be in a state of reflection for the first 2 questions, as she already knew the answers, whereas for the 3rd question, she actually was in a state of reflection and was genuinely searching her memory for the correct response.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or?
She does.
The 3rd question is about to be posed, and her focus is about to switch from pretending to be thinking to actually thinking.
Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
Well, I think I'm going to say that I think she was a nurse. Man, I can't remember how he said he met her. I mean, it's been so long ago.
Well, let me ask you, did you go to their wedding?
It's been so long ago. You guys let me go scot-free with it. Why are you bugging me with that again? So, okay, 3 questions. Something we can try to remember and use. 3 questions rapidly, and you see how they react. Well, we don't see how people react, but we can hear how people react. And sometimes, when someone's embarrassed, it really shows in the voice. I really like this, guys. I hope you're liking this. This is very something I'm really into, since we're doing a lot of deception games based on lying and betrayal. So I think we can both learn a lot of this as well for the traitor and as well for the survivors.
You know?
No, I didn't go to their wedding. No, did not go to their wedding. I couldn't even tell you what year he got married. I mean, you know, it's been a million years ago. You know, again, I mean, what, you know, I don't understand why you're talking about some guy I dated a million years ago.
Well, do you know what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I know she got killed.
You wouldn't need to be an expert in body language to recognize the unmitigated terror emanating from the suspect's face at this moment. She had just verbalized the victim's tragic demise for the first time in most likely over 2 decades.
What
I
did
know
you
she
hear
got
about that?
killed because I was there and I did
saw
the
a picture
murder.
at work. I'm sure I spoke to him about it. I think I spoke to another friend of his about it.
And how did you first learn about that?
Jeez.
Jeez.
Someone could have called me. I could have heard it at work.
I'm going to use that jeez. Oh, gosh, jeez. Next time we play Project Winter. Zeke, if you're in the lobby, you're going to call me out instantly. But yeah, I'm going to try this. Oh, jeez, God, jeez, oh.
I think at one point there may have been a flyer or something. I know a good friend of his...
Were you on the job back then when that happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I was on the job. That's why I would have heard about it with the flyer. He had a good friend, Mike Boldrick, Mike.
Jeez, gosh, jeez.
You know,
But being that you're kind of used to see John, you know, was it everything okay between you guys? I mean, there was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
8 separate witnesses testified that Stephanie had confronted Sherri at the hospital she worked at.
So Sherri is the name of her victim and the name of her husband, the new wife or fiance, I don't know. The name she could not remember earlier, and she said she could not remember where she worked, but apparently she went to confront her at the hospital. Interesting. More lies coming out.
There was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
8 separate witnesses testified that Stephanie had confronted Sherri at the hospital she worked at, while the two of them were reportedly in an intimate relationship with John. The confrontation was said to have been highly aggressive, and Stephanie had to be escorted off the premises by security. Reports stated that Stephanie was by far the more combative, and even made threats against Sherri's life.
you know, I don't know. I mean, it's been so many years. I mean, uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, we may have. I may have seen her at his apartment. You know, geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
Okay. It's not funny because someone died. So let me be clear about that. Somebody was killed, and it's tragic. But this ex-cop's reactions are just too much for me. They're just too much. It's kind of funny. Look at that.
Uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, we may have. I may have seen her at his apartment. Geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
Notice her passive disposition as she gives the following truthful response.
On Roscoe.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe and east or west of DeSoto. Either east or west of DeSoto.
Do you know where he moved after? Did he move after he got married, or do you know? Or
now notice how her disposition switches from passive to frantic as she once again pretends to have a vague memory.
I'm sure he did.
Did you know where he was living, or?
Somewhere in the valley.
Did you ever visit him and his wife?
No.
No, never went out to, get together, dinners, anything of that nature?
No. Like I said, his sister used to come over. His sister had come to my place. I knew his brother because his brother played basketball at Northridge.
Oh, jeez, he was playing basketball. Jeez, gosh.
I just scanned from. I take a lot of photos, like 10,000, and I just did a service where I scanned everything.
Again, too much information. Yeah, going in a tangent. That's what I was thinking.
After his wife died, did you talk to him again or anything? Yeah,
I mean, I did talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him, probably his parents, probably some other friends. I'm sure I talked to him.
Yeah.
But you're not sure where he moved to after he got married?
No idea. I mean,
never went over to visit him, or
I don't think.
meet
I mean,
his
I
wife,
don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I did. I know he lived on Roscoe for a long, long time.
And you're right.
I mean, if you guys are claiming that I'm a suspect, then, you know, I got a problem with, you know, with that.
Okay.
Okay? So, you know, if you're doing this as an interrogation, you're saying, hey, I'm a suspect. Well, now I got a problem with, you know, now you're accusing me of this? Is that what you're saying?
We're trying to figure out what happened.
Oh, defensive. We're getting defensive here, Stephanie. That's another thing you probably, I guess, don't do when you're innocent, right? Wait, are you accusing me of stealing the parts? I never said anything about it. Yeah, I think you did. I'm taking the parts, right? Did I steal the parts? It's not going well for you, Stephanie.
Well,
Well.
you know, I'm just saying.
Should play a bit of Project Winter, Stephanie.
Would I need to get a lawyer if you're accusing me of this?
Yes.
You don't have to. I mean, you know,
I'm just-
you're here of your own free will. I mean,
No,
you don't,
I know, but
I mean, you know, you're not under arrest. You can walk out.
you
Whenever
can leave
feel
whenever
like.
you like.
Well,
But-
you know, I'm trying to give you some background of, you know, how I knew him, and now you're telling me that somebody's saying that we had this big old fight, and I don't even know what you're talking about, you know, and I don't want to, you know, get in trouble for something that I didn't even do, or you're saying I did something.
Okay.
Yeah, we understand.
I mean, how would you guys like it if the tables were turned on you?
I understand. No.
No, that's what we're telling you. I mean, you're free to go whenever you want. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to,
Well, now you're starting to make me uncomfortable.
The thing is, I mean, detectives did what they could at that time on the crime scene. Okay, and the burglary thing you're talking about, that is an angle that they looked at. But now we're looking at everything else on
I think
the
we've
case.
missed the part here.
Nobody was ever arrested on the case.
I don't know that or not.
Okay. Now, what we'd like
This
to
video
do
was
is,
a bit edited.
obviously, you know about all the DNA
Didn't hear
stuff
about
and things of the
burglary.
nature that, you know, gets done on cases nowadays. You know, if we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe.
Maybe.
'Cause now-
Oh, look at his face. Look at his face. Look at this face. Maybe. Can I get the slow-mo? Can I get the slow-mo? Yeah, let's get this maybe.
A DNA
Now,
plus one.
maybe.
Ooh, she's not happy about it. She's
Would you be willing to give us one?
No, she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to give DNA.
Maybe. Because now,
Should she?
Because
now
now,
I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Yes,
I mean,
you
Well,
should.
because I know how this stuff works. Okay, don't get me wrong. You're right. I have been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
and I wish I had been recording this because now it sounds like, you know, there's, you know, you're telling these people saying I'm fighting with her, and now it sounds
You
like
are
you're
being
trying to,
recorded.
you know, I've been doing this a long time.
yeah.
We know.
Okay, and now it almost sounds like you're trying to pin something on me.
No,
now
but-
I got that sense.
Well, what it gets to on these cases, and you know it as well as I do, our job is to identify and eliminate
I
suspects.
can't believe this.
So if we ask you to the point to give us a DNA sample, a buccal swab, so we can identify or eliminate you, would you be willing to do that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because I know this.
Well, that's where we're at to. I mean, because right now,
Because
from
you know
looking
what's
at the
happening. You
evidence,
should know better.
know, it's possible we may have some DNA.
I would say
application.
technically,
that's great.
shut the fuck up and get a lawyer.
We're going to do what we can to try to put this thing together. And your name's in the book. These people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
I don't know why.
And-
That's just crazy. I mean,
that
that's
face.
absolutely crazy.
And it would be irresponsible on our part not to look at it.
I know. You guys have to do your job, and I guess I'm gonna have to contact somebody. So,
That's fair.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works. I mean,
I guess stop talking. You're self-reporting yourself so much of a self-report. Not even need to call a meeting, right? No need to vote. It's cut and clear. I'm not even a criminal investigator, and in that case, I would call it right away. This woman is so guilty, and she's trying to, for some reason, why is she trying to fight it? She's obviously super bad at it.
I just can't believe it.
That's.
I
I mean,
guess-
we understand that. I mean, if we were in your
can't
position,
believe
I
it.
mean, we would feel the same way.
I've tried this one before.
I just can't even believe it. I mean,
Doesn't work.
It's just, I mean,
Just act like you're shocked, and it's just impossible that you will even be. I don't know. You just kind of act like it makes no sense at all that people would try to think you're bad, and just comes
I'm
out
shocked.
so shocked.
I'm really
It's not
shocked.
working. It's not
if
working.
somebody would be saying that I did this. I mean, we had a fight, and so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
Well,
That's...
okay. All right.
Well, thanks for giving me the courtesy. I wish I could record it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Stephanie, take care.
All right.
Okay, what happened next? What happened next? What happened next? We need to know. We need to know. There's still 4 minutes to the video.
This is absolutely crazy.
Have a seat, Stephanie.
Oh, she's back.
This is insane.
Okay.
Why is she back?
Give me 1 second.
20 years to prepare, and that's the performance you're given.
Okay. Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes,
Oof.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
yes.
Oof, that smirk, that's angry smile. She knows she fucked up. She knows she should have kept her mouth shut, called a lawyer. And she thought she could get away with it. And now she's pissed. And she knows she fucked up.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you want to talk to us right now?
No.
All right.
Okay.
This
then.
is crazy.
You already talk. You already talk too much. You're fucked. It's over. It's over. It's done for you.
I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
This afternoon, we are back on the record in People versus Lazarus. Shortly before noon, the jury announced they have a verdict. We will take the verdict at this time.
People of the State of California versus Stephanie Eileen Lazarus. Case number BA 357423. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Stephanie Eileen Lazarus, guilty of the crime of murder of Sherri Rasmussen in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony, as charged in count 1 of the information. We further find the murder was of the first degree.
Your Honor, I'm John Ruetten.
That's the famous John we've been hearing
Thank
so
you
much
for the
about.
opportunity to speak during this hearing. There are really no words that can describe the loss of Sherri and the whole of this experience, so it makes no sense to talk very long. It suffices to say that the Rasmussen family, my family, and Stephanie's family have been thrust into a bizarre world of disbelief and indescribable sadness.
20 years. For 20 years.
Sherri Rasmussen had a profound impact on so many people.
Come on, dude, it's over.
And I was
It's
proud
over,
that
mate.
she agreed to be my wife. It was impossible not to notice Sherri when she entered a room. To me, her physical presence was startling. I can clearly remember the first moment I laid eyes on her. Sherri Rasmussen was a physical presence, and my heart still races when I look at pictures of her. But Sherri was extraordinary, more for who she was than the way she looked. She was a hard worker, a consummate professional, a leader, a diplomat, forgiving, tough, and a kid at heart. Sherri's loss, the way she died, and the trial 25 years after her death has had a profound impact on many, many others. The effects are broad and span a generation, creating pain for those whose lives should have never been touched by this tragic event. Again, words are feeble tools for describing these impacts, but there are so many moments and so very many tears. And the fact that Sherri's death occurred because she met and married me brings me to my knees.
Stephanie Lazarus was sentenced to 27 years to life for the murder of Sherri Rasmussen. She is currently being held inside the maximum security unit of the Central California Women's Facility.
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?